to Mass Bay Community College. I did it after a whole year. I took a whole year off. Like, that was the big cloud that was always hanging over everybody's head. What are you doing after high school? What are you doing after high school? And it was like this impending date of doom that was coming up. So everybody was scared all the time.
Yeah.
And everybody wanted to be a man. They wanted to prove themselves. They wanted to be something special, and no one felt special. You know, everybody felt like a loser. You know, we're all like waiting to become an adult so you could get a job like all these other people you knew that were around you, or escape, or figure out a way to escape. And I only went back to school because I didn't want people thinking I was a loser. So I did like maybe one semester at Mass Bay. I don't even think I finished the semester. And then I left and went to UMass. UMass Boston had this like adult education program where you didn't have to have a GED or not GED, SAT, because I never took my SATs. So when I graduated from high school, I'm like, I am never going to school again. Like, fuck this. But I got so tired of feeling like a fucking loser. Like, when I tell people I would always say I was taking a year off. Yeah, but I just had no direction. All I was doing was like doing martial arts and competing. And I just was so terrified of what the fuck the future laid. And so I went to UMass for like 3 years, but not like 3 full years. It's like there was still a lot of credits to be acquired if I was going to graduate. And I just was wasting my time. I was barely paying attention. I was completely half-assing whatever project we had. And then I was realizing, like, why am I wasting my time?
Yeah.
And then I got some letter saying that I couldn't come back with the grades that I had unless I came up with some very compelling reason. So they wanted me to make an argument for why they should include me back in the class. And I wrote out in handwritten, because back then no one had a fucking typewriter, this total bullshit letter. This ridiculous, like, persuasive, bullshitty letter about how important education is to me and how important it means. And then I realized, like, the amount of effort that I put writing this bullshit letter to keep these people from kicking me out of their school, which I wasn't paying attention to, far exceeds any effort that I ever put on any project ever in class.
Yeah.
And then I realized, okay, whatever I'm going to do with my life, it's not going to involve doing this.
Yeah.
It's not going to involve someone else dictating my schedule. Yeah, well, I had a conversation with a science teacher. This science teacher, and it was the same kind of thing. I mocked him in class. Not necessarily mocked him, but I brought up something that was contrary to what he was teaching. He was talking about Lake Erie being a dead lake, and I said, listen, man, they had a documentary on PBS last night about Lake Erie making a resurgence, and these scientists have figured out these new ways to minimize water pollution and all this shit. And like, other kids were looking at me like, what the fuck? And he got pissed at me. He got really pissed at me, and he said, you're undermining my class and this and that. I go, hey, man, you're teaching old shit.
Yeah.
Are you teaching old? This is on TV, man. This is on TV like yesterday.
Yeah.
And I had a conversation with him afterwards, and because I had to talk to him in order to get back in the class. He kicked me out of the class. And he said 2 things. He said, one, first of all, I don't know whether or not that was the case, whether or not it's true. And if I allow you to just interrupt my class and chime in something like that, and it's not true, I haven't fact-checked it, you're telling the whole class. And I don't know if you're right or you're wrong or you're making things up, but you're interrupting my class. That's the point. If you have something to tell me about it, maybe you could tell me about it after the class, and then I can go and look it up, and then maybe I can correct the class. He goes, but 2, in interrupting the class, you showed yourself to be more articulate and more intelligent than you ever showed ever in the entire semester. So you're totally half-assing everything you do. Like your writing, everything, paper you turn in, every test you do, every time I call upon you for a question, totally half-assed that. But when you wanted to correct me on something, all of a sudden you knew all the words, you knew how to form the sentence correctly, you knew how to say it with the right impact. It's like your focus is off. I was like, God damn, that dude's on the money. And I realized, I'm like, yeah, so I'm not stupid, right? I can't listen.
I can't do it their way. I got to do it my way, right?
But I could. I just didn't. I grew up not having any direction.
Yeah.
So if someone doesn't tell you what to do all your life, like essentially you just out free. I would go fishing. I'd hang out with my friends in the woods. We'd just go find shit to do. And then all of a sudden you're in school and they're telling you everything you have to do all day. Like, I'm not ready for that. There's a real movement right now towards minimalism, or where people are trying to pare their life down as much as possible. What do you really appreciate? What's important to you? Like, what's really important to you?
Yeah.
Because you don't have forever. right? So what is important to you? Because you only have 24 hours in a day. So what's important to you? Find out what that is and do more of that.
Yeah.
And try to figure out like how to make enough money so that you're not starving, that you're doing well.
Yeah.
But don't just chase that. Chase what you're trying to do. Like the point system attached to it, the monetary point system, get you working like 12 hours a day, 13 hours a day.
To get what?
To get more stuff. To get better stuff, to get more prestigious stuff, to get stuff that, you know, all your other stuff having friends are really jealous of your stuff. Good to treat other people the way you would like to be treated yourself. It's like a golden rule, and there's a reason for it. And that reason is that we're connected in some strange way that we don't totally understand. And unless you are good to other people around you, unless you're kind and friendly and warm and loving, you're not going to enjoy this life. You're just not. You're going to be problems everywhere you go. You're going to have problems everywhere you go. You got to figure out a way to enjoy this life. It's not because of Jesus. It's not because of Moses. It's not because of anybody that may or may not have ever existed. It's because that's how you fit in better in the world. That's how you stay positive. And it doesn't have to be some that was written 5,000 years ago on animal skins. That doesn't have to be the golden rule because it's old. You know, that's dumb. We need to figure out, like, now, today, what is, you know, the best way to live your life? What is the, you know, there's got to be ways where you can be putting forward the most positive energy. I mean, we know objectively what's causing pollution. We know objectively what's causing birth defects, and, you know, and we're taking in too much chemicals and not enough vitamins. We know objectively all this stuff. We know how to organize our world, and yet we don't do it. We know how to organize our health, and yet very few people do it. We know all these things. The right path to, like, being like a happy, healthy person is to do all the shit that we already know you're supposed to do. Take care of your body, take care of your health, take care of your mind, your stress, meditate, be kind to people. We all know that. I mean, you ask anybody, they know how to get by and to be the most evolved version of you that you can be. I mean, it's not like a magical checklist. If you talk to people about it, you said, okay, here you got a person, you want to improve them. What are the things you're going to do to them? Okay, well, if I was a life coach, the first thing I would say is this guy's got to get on a diet that makes him healthy. I don't mean a diet just to lose weight. I mean just healthy foods in your body. Many vegetables. Vegetables, a lot of good quality protein, a lot of water. Stop the sodas, stop the bullshit. Start working out your body and get a better sense of, like, how this machine feels when it's moving, it's flowing better, there's less tension in it, your mind feels like relaxed, and you enjoy every single moment of the day better. Step one, everybody knows that step, right? What's step two? Be cool to people. Be nice to as many people as you can. Smile at as many people as you can. Have them smile back at you. Tip well when you go to restaurants. Just do the most you can. Be as nice as you can, you know, and just still manage to not have people walk all over you. Just get through this life as nice as you can. What else? Do what you want to do with your life, right? Don't go be doing something you don't enjoy. Don't do something don't get locked into, you know, a car that you can't afford and doing something crazy because you need the money. Don't do that. Do what you want to do. Do what the is it that you really want to do? Because if someone else is doing it, you can do it, you know? I mean, everybody makes their own path through this world, but a lot of people don't follow the path that they really feel pulled to. You know, just for whatever reason, they got negative programming. You know, when they were kids, someone told them they couldn't do it, or told them to take the shortcut, or take the short route. That's a sad thing, man, when you talk to dudes, especially like talented dudes, and they don't follow up with what they want to do, you know? A bunch of people that will say, yeah, well, I have a family, so, you know, it's a great idea for you to just go out there and go crazy. I have people to support. You need to listen. Stop saying that. Stop saying any of those things. Every single person who has ever done anything worthwhile or exceptional or difficult or extraordinary, anyone, whether it's great artists or authors or mathematicians or whatever it is, everyone encounters difficulties. There is no easy road. It does not exist. It is impossible. Everyone has issues. If you have time to pursue a hobby, if you have time to do anything in your life, you can better yourself. And here's one way you never better yourself. When you come up with excuses for why other people are successful and you're not. That is dangerous. When you give yourself an escape. Yeah, well, that's easy for you to say. You know, you do this, you do. Trust me. Everybody has a hard road. I wanted to jump out a window several times during my young life. I wanted to jump in front of a train, just end it because it's too much pressure. Not really, but you know what I'm saying, theoretically. We all go through hard times. We all go through depression. We all go through doubt and moments in your life where it's really difficult and you're trying to figure out what your path is going to be. It's hard as shit. But Stefan and I were talking about this before the podcast starts, that is what makes you a person. And those difficult moments are what build your character. Show me a great man who's the son of a great man. And that's what we're saying. These kids that are born billionaires, you're never going to be a self-made person. You have a backup trust for your backup trust for your trust, and you're man. I'm fascinated by martial arts. I'm fascinated by comedy. I'm fascinated by many, many different things. I don't understand when people say they're bored, because if I had the time to live 100 lives, I'd be speaking different languages. I'd be living in different countries. I would try a number of different careers, because I think there's a lot of unbelievably fascinating, puzzling, complex things that you could study in this world. That's just me and my personality, but that's a personality also that I've cultivated over years of
challenges. Were you like that as a kid too?
Well, I was involved in martial arts very early, and I think that is one of the things that motivated me to explore difficult tasks, because through difficult tasks you learn an incredible amount about yourself, and you through the fire of competition you get to understand motivation. You get to understand the resistance that you have inside your mind to doing hard work. You get to understand the rewards of discipline. Like, you don't truly appreciate relaxation unless you've worked hard. And that is the yin and the yang of life. And I've said this to the point of people getting sick of it, but one of the worst decisions a man can make, I can only speak for men, obviously, is to be comfortable. I don't think you should try to be comfortable. I think what you should try to do is try to earn comfort. And if you can get a day off where you've worked hard and you've accomplished goals, that day off will be so sweet. When I work hard and I sit in front of the TV, I enjoy the shit out of it. I put my feet up, I have a nice drink, you know, I enjoy my free time.
One of those chairs that nids your back or something like that?
I do have one of those.
Do you really?
Those are great.
They're great, right? Yeah.
I don't use it that much though. Honestly, I'm more of a workaholic than I should be, probably. If the balance was, I probably should relax more than I do, but I never feel like I earned it. But that's part of the reason why when I do feel like I earned it, I can enjoy it. It's because I am more connected to the idea that I need to accomplish things, and it's not like for anybody else's benefit other than my own, or anybody else's approval other than my own. When I have a task, whether it's today I'm going to write 1,000 words, you know, or 2,000 or whatever the number is. If I don't do that, I write things down. Like, I'll write down a list of things that get accomplished that day. And if I don't accomplish that, I'll get sick. Like, it'll drive me crazy. If I can't fill out that list, that drives me nuts, you know. But that's what led me to be a championship level martial artist. That's what led me to achieve. It's like that. It's the reinforcement of those goals, like understanding that you can achieve those goals. It's going to be difficult. You're going to push through the difficulty, and then you're going to understand what difficulty truly is, and how much of it is just mental, how much of it is just in your mind, this adversity to difficult task or to struggle. You know, and a lot of people have that. They're scared. They're scared of complications. They're scared of failure. Failure is a big one that people are afraid of, but failure is one of the most important things you could ever have as far as like the motivation to do things differently. One of the reasons why I think that I'm good at friendships and relationships is because I've failed at them in the past. One of the things that I'm good at comedy is because I've bombed on stage. One of the reasons why I'm good at work is because I've been a shit worker in the past, and I know the feeling of failure, the feeling of shame, of being like a weak, non-motivated, lazy person. It's a weak feeling. You don't respect yourself, you know. And I have this phrase that I use all the time to people to try to motivate people. I say that be the hero in your own movie. Pretend that if your life was a movie and your life started now, what would the hero do? What would the person that you respect do? What would the person that you admire, person that inspires you, what would they do? Well, do that and if you do that, you slowly build momentum. You like, today I did what I wanted to do. Today I started a class in yoga. I did this. I did all these things that I was saying I wasn't going to do. And now I feel momentum. And momentum is a very important point in people's lives. That's why some folks don't like to take days off, because they feel like they're losing momentum. And they sort of have to restart the wheel up again after a vacation. And there's a lot of folks that live life on a cushy cloud of marshmallows and bullshit, and then one day something goes wrong. And I mean, that's why spoiled kids are so sad. Like a spoiled young boy is one of the saddest things ever. A young boy that becomes a man and can't take care of himself, and his dad has to keep on rescuing him. His dad has to keep on bailing him out of situations and giving him money. I've met guys like that, and that is a crippling affliction when they don't have the character themselves to be able to get by in life. They constantly need someone to help them and bail them out. Even as a grown man, I've met guys in their 40s that still need help from their parents. I'm like, what the man? You're never gonna get it right, because somewhere along the line they didn't face enough of the adversity to realize that there's sometimes you just gotta get up and get shit done. There's sometimes where you have to pull yourself up and you have to push forward even if you want to stay in bed. And if you don't do that, you just keep calling on your daddy and your daddy keeps rescuing you, you never develop those tools. You never develop that ability to recognize what you're doing wrong with your life. Because you're soft, you got a cushiony, you got a safety net for your safety net. Say if you had like a 20-year-old and he's just a doper, where he wake and bakes and doesn't get anything done, he's just always like hanging out with his friends and playing video games, and he's just a loser. I wish there was a way you could show someone like that, like, I know that you're getting some comfort and satisfaction out of just laying around, doing nothing, eating, and getting fat, but your life would feel better and richer if you had a goal, you chased that goal, you accomplished some things, you would get this boost of confidence, you'd get this boost of self-esteem, like whatever it is that you're into doing. Maybe you're into drawing comic books, maybe you're into making pottery or sculptures, but find whatever the that is and pursue that instead of doing nothing. Like the people that are doing nothing, those are the real people. Look, doing something might be as simple as like that Alex Honnold guy. He just climbs rocks, but he's world-class rock climber. It's something.
But it's also a goal of his, and he's also the best at it.
Yes, yeah.
But those people who smoke pot all day and do it, those are also the guys who hate on Joe Rogan for being in shape. You know what I'm saying? Or being disciplined, or get on Kevin Hart's Instagram and hate on him. You know what I'm saying? Because they don't. It's their own insecurities. I see what you're saying. But I would assume they would get motivated by seeing other people do something with their lives. Like that should be motivating, not
but
discouraging.
if you grew up with losers and you're around a bunch of people with shitty attitudes, especially if it's in your household, I was very lucky that both my mom and my stepdad, they're the least hater people I've ever met in my life. They're just not haters in any way. Like if someone's doing well, they're always like, wow, look at this guy, or like, wow, look at her, or wow, look at him. There was never any hate in my house in terms of other people's success. But if you grew up with a dad and your dad's like, yeah, all these rich assholes, you think she's a badass, and this, there's people that look at other people's success and instead of saying, wow, that guy did a lot of work. Like the way I'm a successful person, but the way I look at Kevin Hart, he exhausts me, or The Rock. Those guys exhaust me. I'm like, Jesus Christ, like, I feel lazy next to those guys. Like, they do so much. Like, those guys are so overbearingly ambitious, But some people, they see that and they compare themselves and they don't like it, so they can start getting really shit. And it's like a natural feeling to try to chip away at that person. The worst people that you know are the people that don't have a good self-judge, that everything they do is awesome. Yeah. Those never grow anywhere, right? And that's a huge issue with comedy. When you run into people that have terrible comedy sets but think they did great. Like Greg Fitzsimmons and I would always talk about that with like open micers. Like there's people that hear phantom laughs, like they think they're doing great, and they have this delusional self-opinion where everything they do is awesome and they don't know why they're not successful already. They don't know why they're not famous. And those people, I believe, in some sort of a weird narcissistic way, you could look at it this way, that those people are there to teach you. This is the consequences of not feeling that awful feeling when you fail. I was talking to Burr a couple weeks ago. He did a set at the Comedy Store, and I saw part of it. It was he was killing. And then I ran into him in the hallway, And I go, oh man, main room show was great, right? And he goes, yeah, I f***ed up at the end though. I tried to hang in there too long and the last bit bombed. Like he was just, it was rotten at him that the